A case for increased gun control. Argument number 1. The Second Amendment of the Constitution was originally intended to protect the right of the military to use and own guns, not citizens. The backbone of every gun control conversation on both sides of the political aisle is the interpretation of the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. The Second Amendment states that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Side note, the Second Amendment is that of such conversation and debate that entire laws have been struck down due to the placement of commas. For example, some argue that the placement of this second comma caused the Supreme Court to strike down the District of Columbia's ban on handguns. When looking at the Second Amendment, those in favor of increased gun control do not see any evidence of individual gun ownership. They focus on what James Madison's notes at the Constitutional Convention say, that a well-regulated militia was the focus of the discussion. During the late 1700s, men were required to serve in the militia, and thus it was mandatory to own a firearm. This is the extent that pro-gun control activists see individual gun ownership in the Second Amendment. When the Bill of Rights was ratified in 1791, the country was quite different than what we are accustomed to today, with different laws and different practices. The framers had the present militias to base their judgments off of, and those in favor of increased gun control believe those judgments are not fully valid in 21st century America. Argument number 2. A majority of individuals, including many gun owners and NRA members, support common sense gun control. Recent polls have shown that a majority of Democrats as well as many Republicans are in favor of common sense gun control. From here, let's take a look at the 4 most talked about common sense gun control measures. First, mandatory safety features, which are essentially child locks but for guns. An argument from those in favor of mandatory safety features often cite the psychology of children, especially under the age of 6. Young children tend to be very curious and enjoy exploring things they do not understand, which in this case are guns. On average, a toddler in the United States accidentally harms or kills someone with a firearm once a week. Next, banning high-capacity magazines. Recent legislation has been introduced to Congress on the topic of banning the sale of high-capacity magazines. This includes a bill introduced by Congresswoman Diana DeGette and former Congresswoman Carolyn McCarthy. The High-Capacity Ammunition Feeding Device Act would prohibit the sale and transfer of ammunition magazines that have a capacity of, or could be readily converted to accept, more than 10 rounds. The bill died in 2013. In recent years, a high-capacity magazine has been used in Tucson, Arizona, the Aurora, Colorado movie theater, and the Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut. Next up, banning assault weapons. In the United States, some of the common legislative definitions of assault weapon attributes include semi-automatic firearms with a detachable magazine, pistol grips, grenade launchers, and collapsible stocks, along with other attributes which could vary by state. After the Sandy Hook Elementary School mass shooting, Senator Dianne Feinstein introduced the assault weapons ban of 2013, whose full title stated, "To regulate assault weapons, to ensure the right to keep and bear arms is not unlimited, and for other purposes." In short, the bill would have banned the sale, transfer, manufacturing, and importation of assault weapons in the United States with few exceptions. While the bill received large public support due to the recent mass shootings in Newtown, the bill failed in the Senate. After the bill was defeated, Feinstein showed up to the Senate floor with a blow-up of this New York Daily News front page, which includes the photos of all 20 young victims at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Finally, closing the gun show loophole, or more appropriately named, closing the private sale loophole. The private sale loophole allows a secondary market for gun sales in the United States. While those who are engaged in the business of selling firearms most likely have to be licensed by the federal government, any other individual can sell these guns in a secondary market without a background check being performed on the buyer. Under federal law, private non-business sellers are not permitted to perform background checks on any buyer. These sellers also are not required to record the sale in any fashion, nor are they required to ask for photo identification. Those that argue for common sense reform believe that closing this loophole is a great starting point for increased gun regulations. Argument number 3. Countries that do have more gun restrictions have, in fact, lower firearm homicides. Proponents of increased gun control legislation often cite the overall success other countries have with increased gun control laws. In France, those who wish to obtain a firearm must have no criminal record. They are also subject to a complete background check. In Germany, anyone under the age of 25 must pass a psychiatric evaluation. In Finland, you must pass a firearm aptitude test, own a verified gun storage unit, and complete an interview with the police. Finally, in the United Kingdom, handguns are prohibited for the general public, and to obtain one, you must acquire special permission. Let's take a look at the total annual gun-related homicides per 100,000 people in these countries with increased gun control compared to the number in the United States. From the years 2000 to 2011, we see how shockingly low gun-related homicides are in these European countries compared to their Western counterpart. For example, in 2011, you were almost 60 times more likely to be killed with a gun in the United States than if you were in the United Kingdom. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos, including a video on a case for gun rights.